just to test the waters here in the new year, what if I did an EU cannabis news segment every week or so? Because I'm already collecting for my Cannabinoids and the People newsletter, and I don't see anyone covering the EU side of things. So if you'd be interested, let me know. And here's this week's top 3 stories. I'm Lex Pelger. I'm the EU correspondent for CV Sciences, the makers of Plus CBD, whose excellent CBD and THC products for sale in the US. First up, in the Dutch cities of Breda and Tilburg, they began their first experiments with legal cannabis sales. And if you thought that the Netherlands had been doing that for decades, you'd be wrong. Their policy is called Gedoogdebeleid, which is the policy of tolerance, which means that you can sell cannabis out of the front of your shop, and they won't ask any questions about how it got in the back of your shop. And the problem with that is that there's no standards for quality or safety. And also, it seems like organized crime has somewhat moved in onto the growing side. So for the first time in the Netherlands, cannabis is being grown legally, moving through a distribution channel, and getting to a consumer. And then here in France, the fraught battle for medical cannabis continues. They've had a very small pilot program for medical cannabis for 2 years, and it almost got left off the table for this legislative session and forgotten and just allowed to lapse. But it seems like they're going to expand it for 1 more year of this pilot program to study how cannabis affects people and if this works. And then perhaps after that, they'll expand it to a full-fledged medical program. And my bet is maybe by the time my 6-year-old graduates high school, I'll be able to finally buy some grass around here. Lastly, 2 things out of Switzerland. The first is a Swiss study on alternatives to the profit-maximizing model of cannabis selling. And you can see the link to that in Cannabinoids the People, number 84, which just went out. And then also, the city of Bern is considering a pilot program with legal cocaine sales. And as someone who believes in harm reduction, I think that this is the way that the world should be moving, and the data bears that out. Fun history fact, since we have a minute. Under the first George Bush, the World Health Organization was working on a report about cocaine and its health consequences, and they basically found out it's pretty similar to alcohol. People mostly use it on the weekends, and it doesn't do them much harm, and there's a small number of problem users who have difficulties with it, but they would be better served by health interventions than they would by criminalization. And they recommended either legalizing or decriminalizing cocaine. And he hated that report so much that he threatened to cut all U.S. funding from the World Health Organization if they released it. So they didn't release it. But I think someone working on it leaked it to the public, and now you can read it today. So there's the news from Europe, and overall it still looks like Germany is poised to lead the way to the first real adult use market in the continent. But we'll see.